Yes, thank you, Steve. So good afternoon. I'm so happy that you are joining us today in this session. During this session, we'll be talking about the cyber attacks and how actually the cyber world is changing during COVID-19. We'll be focusing on a couple of main ideas. We'll be speaking about the cybersecurity as an industry, not as the idea that we might have mistakenly thinking about this cybersecurity thing. We'll be talking as well about the threat that's targeting individuals and organizations during COVID-19. We will have a quick demo and we are wishing luck to have a nice live demo showing you how actually attackers are going to exploit these vulnerabilities and how can they steal our sensitive information. And by the end of the session, we will be concluding by how to protect ourselves and our online presence. So I will be sharing my screens right now. And as Steve said that we will be gathering the questions during the session. We might have some couple of minutes in the middle of the session to answer a couple of your questions, and we'll be answering the rest of these questions by the end of the sessions. Hope this is fine, and let's move forward. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. I guess you can see my screen right now.
We can.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what we are trying to cover during this session, we'll be talking about the cybersecurity industry, COVID-19 attacks, and what actually is going on out there. We'll be showing a live demo about client-side attack targeting one of the individuals, and we'll be answering the question how to stay safe. So let's start. This is a little about me. I will just skip it very quickly. I'm Ahmed Youssef. I'm a software consultant with experience, 12 years of experience. I have started my career as software developer. I have been working with multiple programming languages and building applications for multiple platforms. And then I started switching from building these systems into attacking these systems. So attacking for the purpose of securing, not attacking for the harmful purpose. So this is what I have been doing lately. I have been applying penetration testing and ethical hacking on these different systems. So what we are trying to cover today, let's start by asking very simple questions. Are hackers evil? Do you think that hackers are evil? And I'm interested to know, what do you think? Just give me some insights on the chat. What do you think? Are hackers evil? Any ideas? Some. Okay. Yes, they steal our data. This is correct. Okay. So actually, we will be, let's say, we can agree that if we are talking about the black hat hackers or the harmful hackers, yes, we can say that they are evil. But why they are evil? What are the main motivation point that actually motivates these people to harm us? Why they are trying to steal our data? Why they are trying to ruin our day? Or let me put this question in another form. If I'm asking you that, let me tell you that you have a computer which is infected with a virus. How do you think this computer will behave? You have a computer and it's a positive, it's infected with a virus. How do you think this computer might behave like? I guess most of us had been in this. Okay, someone is controlling it. You might think it might be slow, it might be keeping crashing, it might be restarting for no reason. All these unexpected behaviors actually we might be seeing out there from this infected computer. But in fact, what I'm trying to tell you that some of the viruses, which are the well-developed viruses, they might be infecting your computer without giving you any signal. Some of the viruses or the malware, when they are developed, they work in this way. If you have a workload on your computer, the virus will stop working until you're done. If you have some simple issue with the registry, with something that's not very well configured with the registry of the Windows, the virus will be fixing this for you. This might seems weird. Why this virus is respecting my space? Why this virus is trying to fix my computer while it can? And the point is, or the answer is very simple. When a company or a hacker or a group of hackers, they are developing a malware, they are developing a virus, they are not developing this virus to ruin your day. They are not developing this virus to make you annoyed. Why is that? Because simply these goals is not beneficial for them. And this is what I'm trying to highlight here, and this is what I'm trying to make clear. When we are analyzing some attack, we directly go to the motivation of the attacker. What is the motivation behind this attack? This attack might be motivated by money, by gaining respect and being famous in the cybersecurity world. Couple of reasons we can list, but ruining your day or making you annoyed is not one of these points. So here we are not talking about someone who is behind the computer with a black hoodie on their head and they are trying just to penetrate to your systems in order to make you annoyed. They are not doing this way. It's an industry. When we are talking about virus development, we are talking about a piece of software that is highly professionally developed that costs a lot of money and requires a lot of top-notch developers. And let me tell you that the developers who are developing malware, they are the highest paid developers among all the industries. So if I need to create a website, this might be costing me X per hour. I will be paying double or triple this X for another developer to develop me a virus. So we can think of these companies or these hacking groups as companies, as commercial companies that are making products, but their products are viruses, malware, hacking kits, and they are trying to spread it over the market in order to gain some money, to gain some profit, to gain some fame along over this cyber industry scope. So this is the way that we should deal with the cyber world. We are not talking about amateurs that are just destroying everything here and there. We are talking about very highly constructed industry that actually costs around billions of dollars every year. So this is how we should see the cybersecurity. Okay, so what are the targets of these companies or these hacking groups? If we are trying to categorize the target that we are dealing with, we can see that we have three kinds of targets. We might have organizations, individuals, and countries. And based on this target, we will find that these hacking groups will take different techniques in order to approach these different groups of targets. So if you are talking about organizations, we might find one of the very famous attacks that we are seeing today is ransomware. And what ransomware is simply, it's a malware-based attack that infects some of the computers within the organization network. And this virus actually is able to do only one thing, is encrypting everything on your hard disk. So what after encrypting everything on your hard disk, the attacker will be sending you some Bitcoin account that you transfer money to this account. If you transfer this money, they will help you to decrypt and restore your files. If you didn't send this money within the allocated time, your files will be encrypted forever and you will not have them back. So this ransomware actually is targeting lots of organizations, and actually it's very painful for the organizations. Even if you didn't pay this money, consider that you have some organization that actually is relying on the online business, and at some moment your online systems is on halt for 2 or 3 days. Actually, this will cost you a lot of money, and that's why most of the organizations actually are willing to pay the attackers to decrypt their files. Breaches, and this happen when an attacker goes to the organization and steals some data and just publish them online. Before the attacker publishes this data online, he goes for negotiation with the company. I have your data, you can pay me this amount of money. Instead, if you didn't pay me, I will be sharing this data for public. The last thing is taking over the systems, where the attacker will be able to control the organization infrastructure, and actually this might be the worst among them. For the countries as well are targets, and we have a couple of instances where some attacking group or some company or some government needs to attack another company, and it should be under the cover, because by the end of the day, the cybersecurity is a striking force, something like rockets. It's like some kind of army. So targets or countries as well are well-known target for these kind of attacks. When we come to individuals, and this is may be one of the interests for us on the personal level, we will find that phishing attack is the most important one of them, and this is what we are trying to show within a live demo after a couple of minutes. So we will find phishing, we'll find Trojan, and we'll find social engineering. What is the main difference between phishing and social engineering? Because some people actually are using these two terms interchangeably, and they are not actually the same. When we are talking about phishing, we are talking about some kind of attack where the attacker is making you think that you are dealing with some website or some entity, but in fact, you are not dealing with this entity, you are dealing with another one. So for instance, I will be showing you some login page that looks like Yahoo or Gmail or Facebook, but actually this web page is not on Facebook servers, it's on my server. So once you see this page, you are willing to give some information, give payment information, give some login and password information, because you think you are dealing with Facebook, but actually you are not dealing with Facebook. So this is phishing. And phishing usually starts with clicking on a suspicious link. And before this stage comes the social engineering. How I'm going to deliver to you that link with a very good story that makes you willing to click on that link. And once you click on that link, you go to that malicious page and you believe that you are dealing with Facebook. So phishing and social engineering are going all together. In most of cases, we might be designing some phishing campaign, but when this phishing campaign is not tied with a good social engineering scenario, this phishing campaign will not be very successful. And let me just give you this very short story that actually I have been dealing with. I have been designing for academic study purposes some phishing campaigns. So these phishing campaigns, it contain a page that looks exactly like the Facebook login page. And this login page was hosted on my server. And I started giving out the link to this server, and I'm trying to make some story that make people actually click on that link. And during that, we had some very popular football league and a lot of matches and so on and so forth. So I said that click on that link to know the latest news about this about this link. And I got some of clicks, but actually it's not very, very good one to have this amount. So I started changing a little bit the social engineering behind the phishing attack. I changed the design of the Facebook page. Instead of having the standard blue color of the Facebook, I have made two different versions. One that actually is themed in black. Everything that actually in blue for Facebook, I make it black. And another version where I replaced every blue area in the Facebook login page with pink color. And I changed my statement as this. Hey, Facebook is delivering you or offering you a new completely version of Facebook, black for boys and pink for girls. If you are interested to have this beta version and be the first one to use this beta version, please log in here and there, so we will be notified once this version is out to preview. And this story actually got a lot way clicks than the first one. So how they are trying to make the story behind the phishing attack is one of the things that makes the phishing attack actually is more dangerous and more likely to have some of the targets actually clicking on that. Okay, so some of the numbers behind the cybersecurity industry. This statement, and I'm trying to from you as well, only some data, you'll be telling me this, of company folders are probably protected. What is the percentage of the company folders and files are probably protected? What do you think? What is the percentage? 13%. Okay, this is very very specific number. Okay, you should have some insights about this. Okay, 13. Okay, anyone go higher, go lower? 30%. Okay. Okay, anyone go higher? Okay, sold. Very nice. Okay, it's only 20%. Okay, it's only 5%. Based on the statistics, it was found that the amount of data that actually is protected in a good way is only 5%. And when we are trying to say that it's protected in a good way, we consider both the outsiders and the insiders. So for example, if I am an employee in the HR department and I can access the IT department or the financial department files, this means that there is a misconfiguration in the permission of these files. So the percentage of the good protected amount of data is only 5%. Okay, then second one, data breaches exposed over how many records in the first 6 months in 2019? What is the number of records that have been breached during the first 6 months of 2019? Any number? How many records? Okay, 70%. Okay. Okay, 10,000. Okay. 10,000 record or 10,000 record? Is it 10,000 records? Okay. Records. Okay, it's 4 billion records has been exposed. And when we are talking about records, we mean that some data that's related to a user. So we are talking about 4 billion username, password, email, date of birth, address, and so on and so forth. And this is for the first half of 2019. And let me ask you this question. Do you think that this number compared between 2019 to 2020, do you think that this 4 billion will be increasing or decreasing between 2019 and 2020? Increasing, yes, this is correct. Of course, it will be increasing. Why is that? Because actually we have a lot of new online comers to the market. Online people are working remotely, are working online. So this the number of the available records will be increased. So the breach as well will be Okay. US ransomware attacks cost an estimate amount of money in 2019. How much do you think? We talked about ransomware. 1 billion. Okay. Any other numbers? Okay. Okay, Roger is giving us very specific numbers, so I have to know where you are getting these numbers because they are very specific. Billions over 1 billion. Okay. $7.5 billion, and this is for a single attack vector, which is ransomware. And this type of breach in here, the answer to this question is a period of time, a duration. How long do you think it takes in order to discover that there is a breach? If there is a company and they got attacked, 3 months. Okay, so between the attack until we discover this, it takes 3 months. Very interesting. 15 days. It's much better to know that I got attacked after 2 weeks rather than knowing after 3 months. Okay. 5 days. Yes, thank you. Mr. Omar is telling us many wouldn't even realize. Yes, this is true. In some cases, actually, we don't even know. Okay, and Roj is still giving us very specific numbers, 21 days. I was waiting for something like 21 and 0.2 days. I was waiting for something like this. Thank you. Okay, so actually, it's 206 days. So this is the average time needed to identify that there is a breach. And actually, as Mr. Omar was saying, may would even not realize, yes, this is the numbers that calculated for some of the breaches that we have been discovering, but some of the breaches actually we never know about. And there was very famous attack that happened on Yahoo, and there is a data breach that actually lasted for 14 years. 14 years. So the attacker had access to the networks and the servers and was able to extract data for 14 years before getting discovered. And I think that he got discovered by the end of the day when he just got bored of this of these things. So he put himself in, or someone of his grand sons actually reported him. So something like this, because he have been attacking for 14 years. So yeah, okay. So this is what might be with interest for us as individuals. The percentage of the malware which is delivered through email. What do you think the percentage of malware delivered through email? 25. Interesting. Okay. 80%. 80%. Okay. Okay. 95%. Okay, yes, thank you. You are giving me my decimal point. Thank you, Roj. Thank you so much. I was waiting for that. Okay, so actually it's as Benjamin said, it's 95% of the malware is delivered through the email. Why that? Because if I'm trying to attack some organization, actually I will be looking to the weakest point in the chain. The weakest link in the chain of the cybersecurity is usually the human being. It's much easier to create some nice social engineering story that actually would make some of your employees click on a link. It's much easier than trying to attack and bypass your firewalls and your antivirus and your software layers of protection. And on the other hand, just giving some of your employees a link, and once he clicks on that link, I am
Is it me, or have we lost connection for a second there?
Try to check the percentage that experienced attacks in 2009. You did? Yes.
I think we just lost you for a second there, Ahmed, but you're back now. Please carry on.
Okay. Now, the last one, we are asking about the percentage of business that had some phishing and social engineering attacks during 2019. What do you think the percentage? 35. Sounds good. Okay. Rose is sticking with 99.99. Okay. It's 60% of the business experienced it. Okay. Thank you, Roger. Okay, so 60% of the business experienced phishing and social engineering attacks during 2019. And let me repeat again what Mr. Omar has been telling us, that when we are seeing these numbers, actually, this is the percentage of what we could discover. So in most of cases, or in many cases, we have attacks that actually we are not aware of because actually they go without getting discovered. Because as we are going to see right now, or during the demo, when I'm trying to apply some phishing attack, my successful phishing attack shouldn't be discovered. Why is that? Because simply I'm giving you a link, and in this link, you see some page that looks like Facebook. You put your username and password, and then you will be redirected to Facebook, which is usually you are logged in already there. So once you are redirected, you are on your homepage. So actually, you will never figure out if you actually logged in into Facebook, or you are just giving your username and password to someone else who is redirecting you to Facebook. So this is the amount that we could discover. Okay. So what makes COVID-19 special for attackers? As we are saying that COVID-19 is a season for the attackers. So it's something like the summer for the hotels. So so why do we think that COVID-19 is a season for attackers? Why we are seeing an increasing activity of the attackers during the past duration? We can say that if we are dealing with the companies as commercial companies that has some product, and their products are viruses, malware, and attacking vector. So during COVID-19, they have a lot of potential out there in the market. A lot of people actually are working remotely. Almost everyone who can work remotely is working remotely. A lot of companies had to expose their access to their systems over the internet in order to make them accessible to their employees, while not having enough time to secure their environment. So lots and lots of data are being shared online, unprotected, and a lot of systems that actually are out of there with very weak authentication techniques. That's why COVID-19 make this duration is very popular for the attacks. And as we are going to see what actually is happening, you will see that we have a huge increase in the phishing and spam attacks. A lot of malwares has been detected that actually are being rebranded to look like COVID-19. So for example, if I have some ransomware and this ransomware looked like a game and I have been distributing this as a game, in COVID-19, I will take the same as an attacker. I will get back or work on rebranding my virus in the form of some application that actually is giving you some live insights about COVID-19. And then I will be putting this in the market, so it will be spreading very quickly. And we are seeing this all the time. Even old ransomware that have been out there are being rebranded in the form of something related to COVID-19. So actually it's easier to distribute and more likely to be clicked on. Okay, so according to Cloudflare, online threats has been raised as much as 6 times their usual levels in the presence of COVID-19 pandemic, which is having new cyber attacks or providing new cyber attacks. So looking at some of the companies like Microsoft, we will see that in February 2020, Microsoft has introduced the biggest security patch in its history with 99 vulnerability discovered and fixed. And this actually, February 2020 didn't hold this record for a long, because on March, they have launched another bigger security update, which contains 115 vulnerability discovered and fixed. Why this happening? Because the attackers are more active. So it's more likely to discover new vulnerabilities that will be fixed and should be seen in the updates. Other good example, which is Zoom, the application that we are dealing with right now. Zoom has been applying by the 1st of April a complete makeover for the security policy that they are trying to do. So Zoom, with its weaknesses for the version up to 4, the version Zoom version 4, actually was out there for a long time with some weaknesses, but it wasn't with that interest that make almost every hacker in the world is trying to attack Zoom. But after the pandemic and everyone is using the Zoom became a platform that is very precious for the attackers to exploit and spread their malware through Zoom. So a lot of attacks happened at this point that made the company of Zoom is motivated to revamp how they are developing the security, and they release a completely enhanced version by the 1st of April, that actually Zoom 5 that we are using right now, and hopefully everyone is using Zoom 5 and no one is using Zoom 4. Okay, if you are using Zoom 4, just show of hands. I hope that no one is moving Zoom 4 anyway. The cyber attacks industry, the ransomware increased by 25% during COVID-19. We had lots and lots of malicious web mobile application that spread it over the Play Store containing the name of COVID-19. So COVID-19 instructions, how to stay safe with COVID-19, COVID-19 updates, and most of these applications are actually malwares that has this name with COVID-19. But because we have something serious happening in the world, so a lot of people are motivated to click and download without thinking much about this. How legitimate are these applications? Okay, so enough talking. Now let's have a couple of minutes. If you have some questions, I'm happy to take these questions. If we don't have these questions, let's go to the live demo. So, any questions so far?
Let me just open up the microphone for everybody so that we can we can hear any questions that might.
Yes,
might
sure, please. Yep.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. My question is, how is it possible that someone is going to fix or update the security before it's been attacked? Like, how am I going to know that what attack am I going to expect? So what to fix or what to update?
Okay. Thank you. This is very interesting question, actually. When I'm having some system, and most of cases, this system seems to me secure because it's my system. And actually, it seems secure to my IT department who are maintaining this system. That's why in order to spot something like this, I need to have an external eye. So what actually is happening in the practical world, when I have a company, I go to another company which is providing the penetration testing service. What they are doing, I will be hiring them to attack my systems, to simulate what actually the malicious hacker will be doing to my systems. So they are doing this without giving me the details. I'm just committing on some start date for the project and some end date for the project and some objectives. And then I don't communicate with them because they are working silently in order to simulate how hackers are doing in the real life. And by the end of this duration, they will be submitting me a report. This report will be telling me that you have this weakness and that weakness, and we could exploit this vulnerability and we could gain this access to this employee servers and we could take this data. and so on and so forth. Plus, this operation is very important and it should be ongoing operation. So some of the companies are applying or putting their systems to an external eye penetration test like once a year. Some other are putting this into more than this. Some of the other companies, which are the bigger companies, actually are going for something a little bit different. It's called bug bounty. What's meant by bug bounty, and this is, by the way, this is how Microsoft could discover all these vulnerabilities during February and March. How did they discover these vulnerabilities? Because they have something that we call bug bounty. In the bug bounty, they are availing their systems to the world. Anyone in the world can attack our systems, can hack into our servers. You are welcome to do this, but instead of using this against us, just let us know and we will giving you in return a bounty. We're giving you a money for the responsible disclosure. In the first sight, you might think this is a little bit dangerous. Why I'm trying to expose my servers to everyone in the world, and the participant in this bug bounty, actually, they are hackers. So why I'm trying to avail my systems to hackers so they will be hacking it. But if we thought a little about this, we will find that I'm not actually availing my systems to the hackers. They are actually available. They are there online and they can hack them. But what I'm trying to do is trying to change the perspective of the hacker. Instead of hacking me and trying to breach my data or affecting my security, no, he will be discovering this weakness, reporting this to me, and in return, I will be giving them some bounty. Is it clear?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, any other questions?
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, yes. I have a question. Like,
yes, please.
Since most organizations depending on cloud providers for the data storage, so in case that these cloud providers are attacked, what are mechanisms that have been put in place so that their clients will cover their data?
Okay, okay. So actually, this is a very interesting point. If I am, let me repeat the question and confirm that this is what you are asking for. Actually, we are asking about that as a company, me as a company, I am hosting my data on a cloud service provider, such as Amazon, and Amazon suffered the cyber attack. So this will put my data into danger. This is correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So actually, this is true. If my data was on their servers, so actually they are prone to some attack. But when we are dealing with this point, we are thinking of the best situation. So let's say that I have my own data center and I can host my data on my own data center. I'm compromising between these two different scenarios. Would it be better or more secure to my data to be hosted on my server and secured by my personnel, or it should be hosted on Amazon and secured by their personnel? So in most of cases, for most small and medium enterprises, it's more secure to have their data hosted on some big player cloud like Amazon, Google, IBM. So if I'm hosting my data on their cloud, the probability of getting hacked is much less than having them on my data, unless I have some very sensitive data. In this case, I might be hosting this on my servers, and these servers, what we call air-gapped servers. So these servers are not exposed to the internet. They are on my prem. They are accessed only within the internal network, and they are not exposed to the internet. But if I am going to expose them to the internet, I make this compromise, putting them on my servers or putting that on the cloud server. The last point to think about or make the cloud a good option, even with that threat that you have just mentioned, that when we are talking about cloud service providers, the big players, the big names, actually, they have a lot of redundancy. So if I'm hosting my data on one of their data centers, I will be sure that there are 2 or 3 copies of my data are hosted on different data centers that might be in a completely different countries. So having or losing my data might not be a very high probability to be hosted on the cloud. That's why a lot of people actually go there unless they have some governmental regulations that prevent them from putting some data to the external or some data center outside the country.
Yeah, I'm answered. Okay.
Okay. Good. Very nice. Okay. So, any further questions? Okay. So.
Hi, Ahmed. Hi.
Yes.
Just
Hi.
one question.
Hi, Dan.
I know you've touched on this, but I'm interested in what you think are the main differences between attacks before and now during COVID.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is the main difference between what we have been experiencing and what's happening now? Okay. So if we are experiencing the technicality or the techniques itself, it's nothing new is happening. But what's happening is the the demand of or the number of potential targets actually has been increased. So if I'm targeting, let's say 1,000 company who are having some online business to be targeted, that's worth it. Now, during or after COVID-19, we don't have 1,000 company, we have 10,000 companies. So the number of targets actually has increased very much. The number of the unaware and unskilled employees that are working and sharing data online actually has been increased because most of these people have been working from the office. They are accessing their environment internally. So data are shared in public, but within the network of the company. Now it's shared in public over the internet. So this is increasing the risk. The last thing is having new social engineering attacks that starts with the topic of COVID-19. So now when I'm sending you some link that's telling you that there is a new regulations for traveling back and forth from UK, for example, and I know that you are interested in going to UK for some business, you will be very interested in clicking on that link. So having this pandemic making a lot of people actually increase their footprint on the online, make a lot of targets or increase the number of targets online, having this topic, which is very interesting to a lot of people to know more about, make them more curious to go to new websites that might be malicious, to download new applications that might be malware, to click on a new link that might be phishing. So, yeah. For myself, I'm expressing COVID-19 for the attackers as opening a new mega mall.
That's very interesting. Thank you.
COVID-19, yes. Okay, thank you, Ben. Thank you. Okay, so any other questions? We good to go?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now let's see what we are going to do with our demo. I'm trying to let me share the screen again. Okay, perfect. Okay, very nice. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you here, this is a tool. It's one of the very popular tools that actually hackers are dealing with. It's called Beef. Beef, it has this beef icon, but actually it's the abbreviation for Browser Exploitation Framework. What's meant by Browser Exploitation Framework? It means that it's a tool that helps me as an attacker to take control over some victim's browser by sending you a link. So once I send you a link, I have access to make some actions through your browser. This is what we are trying to see right now. What I'm going to do is let's start this Okay, I will be using this simulator, which is iPhone simulator, along with this side. So this side will be my attacking machine, and this side is the victim side, which is representing the victim. So let's start our scenario by this. I will be opening Safari, and from Safari, I will be going to this URL. So let's say that this URL I have sent to you through Facebook, through LinkedIn, via email with a good social engineering story, and it happened that you clicked on that. And what we are trying to see right now, what would happen if I clicked on that link? Let's see. What happened when I clicked on that link? Nothing happened. Why? I'm going to figure this out. Okay, I got it. I'm not sure if you're interested to know what I'm doing or not, but what I'm trying to do right now is I'm starting the malicious server on my side in order to serve some web page, and this web page actually will be presented to the victim. And once the victim get an access to this or go to this URL, I will get access to their browser. And while we are doing this, let's have a look on this window over here. Do I need to zoom in a little bit? It's not clear, right?
It's fairly clear, I think Ahmed.
Okay.
It's much better.
So okay, so this is what we call hooked browsers. What are the hooked browsers? These are the browsers of the victim that I'm having control of. And so far, I don't have any online browsers. I had some offline browsers, which I had some access to before, but now I don't have any online browser. Let's see what would happen once you go to that link that I have sent to you. This link actually is some web page that's telling you that we are providing you with some exclusive videos. And this is very common in this kind of attacks because the attacker is interested in making you open the window for the longest time. So I will be providing you with some video content, with some content that actually you have to stay on there. A lot of websites that actually are providing some streaming service actually are using this technique. So what would happen when I click on that link? You will see that there is a new browser that actually has appeared here. And it's telling me that this browser is using Safari and it's working on iOS and it's an iPhone of some version. So now as an attacker, I can manipulate what's happening over there on the victim machine. So let's say that we are going to the commands. We have lots and lots of commands that actually I can apply or execute from my attacking machine on the victim machine. I can detect a lot of things that there. I can make try to open the camera, try to open the mic, try to download a file. I can be doing all of this stuff. Let's say, for example, I will be making some very basic thing that I will be making an alert. Create an alert dialog. And this alert dialog, I will be telling him that thanks for visiting our videos website. Smiley face, because hackers actually are very nice people. So, and I will execute. And for instance, this message that I have just typed there, I will find it here for the victim. Okay, this might not be very effective. So what? I have made this pop-up to the victim. So what's next? And here comes the social engineering. Let's say that I will be trying to manipulate the user in a different way. So I will be telling him that thanks for visiting our videos site. In order to view more videos, because I know that he's interested already in my videos. In order to view more videos, please like our Facebook page. As a nice guy, giving the victim or giving the people access to nice videos, they will say, okay. So let's say that, what do you think the attacker should be expecting after having this message? What should I provide him with right now? Some nice Facebook login page? Don't you think? Let's do that. Can you see it here? It's a Facebook login page. So it's fine to put my email. It's Facebook, right? And put my password. And click login. And then in the results, I can see that the user has typed this email and that password. And this shouldn't be the end of the attack. After this, I should redirect him to facebook.com. So as a victim, you have logged into your Facebook, and after you logged into your Facebook, you have been redirected to facebook.com. So Facebook might be asking you to enter your data again. In most of cases, you will not see this is suspicious because you will think that, okay, it's fine, I have mistyped something, so I should be logging in again, and that will be go. So this is why we have been talking about that the phishing attacks in most of cases, they are not detectable because you go to something that looks like Facebook, you make login, and then you will find that you are on something completely different. I can be doing this in a lot of manners. So because I know this is some iPhone user, so instead of giving him some Facebook login dialog, I can just tell him that go to iCloud. Please log into your iCloud. Oh, sorry. Now, when the victim went to Facebook, actually he left my suspicious page, so I don't have a control on the browser so far. So, but if he got back to that link, he will find that Apple is asking him to provide the iCloud login. And this is not iCloud, this is not Apple, this is actually just lots and lots of things that we can do over here. We can ask him to download some file, and once this file is downloaded, it's most of cases a malicious attack. And this is telling us very simple rule of cybersecurity, which is cybersecurity attacks is not one-step attack. I don't just make one action, one activity, and I have everything. This is not how it works. It works bit by bit. I'm sending you a malicious link, and this link actually on its own is not harmful. But when you click on it, you give me a slight access to your browser. And this slight access to your browser might not be very harmful in its case. I gain or make some social engineering story and start going step by step until I get full control of your system. So this is very important to keep in mind. And this is one of the interesting tools that actually hackers are dealing with when they are trying to manipulate some of the people's browsers. Okay, so any questions so far? I know that we have only two minutes left. Any questions?
Hello.
Yes, please. Hello.
Okay. What you were demonstrating, is it what they call man in the middle attack, or browser,
Okay.
man in the browser attack?
Yes, we can call this man in the browser attack, because I'm trying to take a control of the victim's browser. Man in the middle attack is a little bit different, where I am not I'm not giving you something that looks like Facebook. Actually, you are dealing with Facebook, but I am in the middle. So instead of you, for example, sending your data over to your internet service provider, and your internet service provider is sending data to Facebook, you are sending your data to me, and I'm sending this data to Facebook. And the response is coming from Facebook. I am forwarding this to you. So you are dealing with Facebook through me, which gives me access or the ability to see or update the request you are sending or the response you are getting from Facebook. So this is man in the middle, and as you said, this is what we have been seeing, that this is man in the browser attack.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so any other questions, Mr. Omer? I guess.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, hello.
Okay, right now we just talked about the viruses online, right? What if I give you a link, and in that link is a Trojan horse or a spyware or a malware, right?
Yes.
Do I need you to be on my server, or even I can control you offline by planting in a spyware in your computer?
Okay, putting a spyware on the victim computer, most of cases, this spyware will work from the victim side as a client. So this client application will be connecting back to my attacking server. So this will happen over the internet. If I don't have the victim connected to the internet, I will not be able to control him. But most of the viruses and most of the Trojan horses has a couple of features. One of these features is what we call command and control, where this client is getting back to me, taking commands, and I'm asking them to execute these commands on the server. So if we don't have this link, if I am disconnected from my client, most of the Trojan horse has other features such as spreading. So without having me controlling that virus or this Trojan horse will be scanning the network in order to infect more and more computer machines on the victim side. And in most of cases, I will be lucky that one of these machines is connected to the internet. So if the virus or the Trojan horse is infecting a machine that's not connected to the internet, it will not just stop there. It will try to search for another machine and infect as many as he could until he gets some machine that makes him available to get back to that.
Okay, just to continue on that. So
yes.
That means if let's say in future I get attacked on my computer, right? So my first action should be to go offline or to disconnect from computers and figure out what's happening.
Yes, this is true.
Okay, fantastic.
If I disconnected and then try to see, yes, we call it, and actually we call it quarantine.
All right. Okay. Fantastic.
Yes, I need to quarantine this machine, disconnected from the internet and disconnected from the other network.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Any more questions?
Ahmed, I think we're running a little behind time. Hopefully we've addressed a few questions there. If you do have any further questions for those on the call, or you want to put them to us, you didn't have a chance today, please do send them through to us via email, and we'll do our best to get them answered for you, I'm sure, via email or even a follow-up call. I certainly found that really interesting, particularly the demo and just how seemingly easy it is to create a very simple but effective hack. So I think it just goes to show how easy it is and how alert we've all got to be, not just rely on IT teams and cybersecurity professionals to protect us. I think we've all got a part to play, right? So very, very insightful. Thank you. So unfortunately, I think we've run short of time. I hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you for attending. Please do follow us if you'd like to see more of these webinars, which we will be running in the future. Follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter, and or connect with us via email, as I said. Thank you very much, Ahmed, and wish everyone a good day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day, and looking forward to seeing you again.
Yeah.
And stay in touch if you have more further questions. If you have any annoying viruses, any suspicious attacks, and you want to have some help, please don't hesitate to contact us. We'll be all there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.